Oh, okay. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for being here. Today is Tuesday, September 21st, 2021. I call this meeting to order. It is 4:33 p.m. We will start with our invocation by Deacon Gutierrez. Thank you.
Sure. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen.
Amen.
Heavenly Father, as we're gathered together as a community, we thank you and we praise you for all the goodness you have bestowed on our community of Alice, Texas. As the City Council meets today, we ask you that you guide them in making decisions that are pleasing to you and the community. We ask this in your name. Amen. And also, as we're gathered tonight, or this evening rather, we ask to take a moment of silence to honor our beloved brother in Christ, firefighter Roberto Liguez, who passed away after a short illness with a battle of COVID. So let us take a moment of silence. Heavenly Father, we ask you to receive him into your kingdom and forgive his sins. We ask of this in your name. Amen.
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 Thank you.
Thank you. And
Everybody please turn and face the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
thank you. We have citizen comments. We do have Ms. Pink Rivera.
Speaking to the microphone? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. If you'll just state your name and address.
Okay. My name is Pink Rivera. I'm the new mobility manager with Real Incorporated. I do not live here in Alice. I travel from George West every day just to work at this company because I really believe in everything that they do. Can you pass this around? Okay. Oh, okay. I made more copies. All right. I'm just here to talk to you today about our vaccine clinic. We're working with Juan Alice. We decided to not only offer the vaccine, but the transportation as well to anyone who may not be able to get out there. A little background about Real, just in case. I know you know, but I'm going to tell you again. This is we work with 11 counties across the coastal bend since 1972 for the last 48 years, and we offer services from transportation, housing, our daycares, also known as a clubhouse. I'm sure you've seen our guys up and down all over, and other health centers. And these clinics give us a chance to not only get out there and make the connections with them, but this one is specifically for the public. I've been trying to get the word out as much as possible, work with the hospital, any questions that anyone might have. That's why if you can just call us, or we'll arrange that transportation. But I think working with you guys is for the city of Alice, and just to see how it goes. This is not the first time or the last time that we want to do things like this, but we just wanted to reach out for more support and bring the community together. We're going to continue to offer vaccines and transportation. So, you guys have any questions?
Thank you so much. And this is Thursday, September 23rd, 3 to 5 at Christus Mon Hospital, Alice.
All right. Thank you. All right then. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Before we go to our public announcements, if council could join me, do we have Ms. Ana Sanchez with the purple, or, oh, with the purple door? Council and City of Alice, we would like to present this proclamation. Domestic Violence Awareness and Prevention Month. Domestic violence is about power and control. In the United States, 1 in 3 women and 1 in 6 men will experience domestic violence in their lifetime. COVID-19 has compelled some survivors to stay in their homes. Abusers often use isolation and fear as a tool to exert control over their victims. Furthermore, survivors of domestic violence often feel isolated and alone. Those who experience domestic violence may be left with lingering effects. Lingering effects including mental health disorders such as anxiety, depression, or PTSD. An abusive partner will often begin by using emotional and psychological abuse, such as name-calling or putting the victim down, and then escalate to physical violence. Abusers must be held accountable for their behavior. We all have a responsibility to start the conversation and learn more about the signs of abuse for our family, friends, and community members who may be experiencing domestic violence in isolation. Therefore, the Purple Door encourages the coastal bend to loose the ribbon this October because prevention is action. We encourage everyone to reach out to the Purple Door or visit the National Domestic Violence Hotline and the National Network to End Domestic Violence. Websites for resources on digital advocacy. Follow the Purple Door on Facebook, Instagram, at Purple Door TX for more ways to get involved. Now, therefore, under the powers vested in me as mayor of the City of Alice, I do hereby proclaim October is Domestic Violence Awareness and Prevention Month. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
We appreciate you guys doing this proclamation. And let's victims and survivors know that you guys are there standing behind our victims and helping them out. So thank you guys so much.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Cynthia, y'all want to do a quick, you want to flip it over?
Hold on one second. Give me a minute now.
They are open. They open up very much.
So we'll move on to our public announcements from our city council members. Mr. Pecris?
Not really, Mayor. Maybe just want to keep people in mind that we do have some cooler weather coming in, so be grateful for that. And just take care of yourselves and others out there. We're still going through all this together, so that's it.
Mr. Molina?
I have no comment.
Okay, Mr. Burke?
Yes, ma'am. Just 3 quick things. Number one, personally, I'd like to give some props to several departments here. Maintenance and construction, water production, and Parks Department, working under some very stressful, difficult, overwhelming conditions. Appreciate everything you do. Many good remarks from the citizens, imaging, and appreciate everything you all do. And along with that, a few years ago, well, Michael was on council, I'm not sure if Pete was, we had done a survey of a couple departments with the public, their image, their reaction to service, customer service. Just a reference to that, if the administration might consider something like that in the future for some departments. Second thing, I'd like to see, I would like some information to understand better what is a city event versus a non-city event. I thought I understood that. I'm not sure now. I'd like to see how those things are determined. And then thirdly, well, that's fine for now. Thank you very much.
Mrs. Bowen?
Yes, how do I put this? I usually follow up what day it is for, professional service day, professional this or that. Well, today is actually National IT Professional Day. So I'd like to give kudos if those men in the back over there in that little room for the city of Alice. Thank you all so much for all you do for us. Without you, we would be lost and we wouldn't be on TV. So thank you and God bless y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
And I just wanted to also thank everyone out in the community for everything they do and all their contributions, and remind everyone, continue to use our CDC guidelines. COVID is still, we're still having cases and fatality, so please use the CDC guidelines and protect yourselves and be safe. Also, I want to thank HEB. They actually helped us out with a donation for our future Christmas trees, little Christmas trees. So we're looking forward to doing that. And then, of course, we did have our 9/11 event that was beautiful, that was hosted by our Rotary of Alice. It was a beautiful event, and just want to say thank you to everyone, because the city employees, Rotary, and there were so many other volunteers and partners in that event. And we also recently had a COVID-19 memorial fence of love that was at the Anderson Park, which was beautiful. We had a good turnout. There were some ornaments, wooden ornaments that were free to the public, and just want to, if you weren't able to attend or you still wish to place an ornament on the fence of love in memory of a lost loved one, we do have some, and you can reach out and call myself or, I don't know when, so, Odie. Okay. And we'll be happy to provide that. It's free of charge. Also, on September 11th was POW and, 17th, I'm sorry, was POW and MIA Day. So we wanted to recognize that. And also, we, as our deacon mentioned, we want to give our condolences to the family of Mr. Liguez. We lost our firefighter that will be dearly missed. And thank you for his service, and our condolences to the family and friends. So, okay. And with that, we will move on to agenda item number 3. Discuss, consider, and act upon approval of minutes of the August 18, 17, 2021 and September 2nd, 2021 meetings. Council, are there any changes or anything to those minutes?
I did not see anything.
I'll entertain a motion if there's no.
I make
Mayor,
a motion
make a-
approving minutes of August 17, 2021 and September 2nd, 2021 meetings.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all opposed, sign. Okay, motion carries. We will go ahead and go to agenda item number 4, recognition of local students elected to attend school in Barcelona, Spain for soccer. And let me Let me get my paper, sorry. This young man is Zachary Ortiz. Zachary started with the Boys and Girls Club here in Alice. Zachary was selected out of more than 200 players at a San Antonio summer soccer camp to attend this prestigious academy in Europe. Zachary Ortiz is 7 years old and began playing and practicing soccer at the age of 3. He loves the game of soccer and enjoys watching videos of professional soccer player Lionel Messi practicing, and he likes practicing those soccer moves that his idol or mentor does. His parents are currently collecting funds to send Zachary to this prestigious academy. We want to wish Zachary Ortiz the very best and know that we, the City of Alice, are very proud of you and thank you in representing your city. So, council, if you don't mind joining me to recognize little Zachary. Sabbath's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ortiz. How are you? Do you remember me? They would run to my truck and they would know. Remember that? This is Mr. and Mrs. Ortiz, Chris Ortiz and Barbara, the parents of Zachary. Zachary, on behalf of the City of Alice, we want to recognize you and congratulate you on being chosen out of a lot of students. That's an honor to attend that prestigious academy. And just a little something.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna turn it around.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Good luck. That's cool.
Okay. That was cool. Okay, we'll move on to agenda item number 5. Discuss, consider, and act upon an ordinance updating Appendix C, fee schedule of the City of Alice to the Code of Ordinances, making findings of fact, providing for severability, and providing effective date and open meetings clauses that affect the sewer cap for residential inside city limits.
Mayor, I'd like to ask this agenda item be tabled. We're still working with Encode 10 to do forecasting of data, and it's taking a while to get that back. So
Okay. So may I have a motion?
Motion to table, as requested.
Second.
All in favor of tabling items, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
You had a. no-
I
oh.
meant aye.
Oh, okay.
Aye, I meant aye.
He's running behind. There's all in favor.
Delayed aye.
Okay. So, agenda item is tabled. Agenda item number 6, presentation of Texas Department of Agriculture, TDA, Form A-1024, Section 3, Goals and Concepts as related to the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG program, and the Texas CDBG project number 7219489, wastewater infrastructure improvements on San Felipe, Trevino, and Escobar streets.
Hello, everybody. I'm Javier Zambrano with Grant Works.
Hello.
Section 3 is a requirement of HUD. It's been around for a long time, and they're making some adjustments. basically what they want to make sure is that the low to very low income people have an opportunity to take part in the jobs created through these grants. And also for the low income businesses also have that opportunity, being informed and being able to submit proposal for contracts. So what I'm going to go through the whole thing here. The city received the following grant award. Grant contract number 72129489, an award of $300,000 and a $45,000 match. City match and a county match of $15,000, and the project is sewer improvements to include installations of new sewer lines, replacement of sewer lines, first-time sewer connections. The grant is funded through Community Development Block Grant, HUD, and Texas Department of Agriculture. As a condition of funding, the city must comply with Section 3 of the Housing and Urban Development Act of 1968. Although the city is required to adhere to all these requirements, in essence, GrantWorks, which is the administrator, will do all of this for you. So this is just a formality to inform you the requirements of the city, although the GrantWorks will take care of all of that. To the greatest extent feasible, grant recipients must direct the economic opportunities generated by CDBG funds to low and very low income persons. This means ensuring that Section 3 businesses have the information to submit a proposal for the project. Section 3 workers have information about any available jobs opportunities related to the project. A company may qualify as a Section 3 business if it is owned by low-income persons, it is owned by Section 8 assisted housing residents, or 75% of all labor hours for the business in a 3-month period are performed by Section 3 workers. There are some websites that y'all can look into. I'll leave this with you. I don't know if you have a copy of it.
Yes,
We do, thank you.
Okay, good. Contracting opportunities related to these grant projects include grant administration services, which is GrantWorks, the engineering services, R.E. Garcia and Associates, prime contractor for sewer improvements, City of Alice. No subcontractors, so the city is going to do the project. Prime contractor for sewer improvements, City of Alice. Okay.
yes.
You may qualify as a Section 3 worker if the annual income is below the county threshold, and for your family size, for example, the income threshold for size of one is $33,000, which is still pretty good. You are a current or recent Youth Build participant, registered for information and search for opportunities at workintexas.gov, and then, of course, the website. And also, Section 3 workers need, if this is going to be a target area, they need to be from the immediate area of Alice. And this is why that little map showing up there, that's why it's like that. So basically, that's it. TDA requires the grant recipient to track all hours worked on the project based on 3 categories of workers: all workers, Section 3 workers, and target Section 3 workers. So basically, what it is just giving you the information that HUD requires that Section 3 workers, which are low to very low income persons, have the opportunity to take part in the project. Any questions?
Council?
Thank you all so much.
No questions?
Is there,
No?
I don't have any other item on the agenda, right? I don't, I looked through it and I didn't see anything.
I'll be
Ms.
reach out
Barbara?
if I have any more questions.
Y'all have my card if y'all have questions.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, we'll move on to agenda item number 7. Before I open agenda item number 7, we have a disclosure statement in reference to a conflict of interest. Mrs. Bowen,
Yes.
you would like to be recused?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Agenda item number 7, discuss, consider, and act upon adopting a resolution authorizing and approving a grant agreement with the Texas Water Development Board in the amount of $217,350 for TWDB project number 40005 for a master drainage planning study, an escrow agreement, other matters related thereto, designating the city manager as the city's authorized representative and authorizing the city manager to execute all documents related to the grant agreement, escrow agreement, and other matters related thereto. Okay, Ms.
Good
Barbara?
evening, Mayor and Council. This is the project that will be funded through the Texas Water Development Board Flood Infrastructure Fund, which is a new funding program from Texas Water Development Board. And during our October 2020 City Council meeting, we talked about the project scope, and that's listed in your packet. In July this year, we received an action letter that the Texas Water Development Board had approved the project for funding. And we will be awarded a grant award of $217,350, and the city will provide a match of $24,150 for a total project cost of $241,500. At this point, we're working with the Texas Water Development Board in providing the resolution that's in your packet tonight. At this stage, we need that resolution. And then this afternoon, Bond Council forwarded the escrow agreement, which Odie and Nellie have handed out to you. So those are two documents that we need at this juncture of the project. Texas Water Development Board has not as yet sent a draft grant agreement. When that is sent, we'll be sure to forward that to the city attorney for review, as well as to our bond counsel and financial advisor for review.
Council, any questions? Mr. Chris?
Being that we just got our hand, we're doing the resolution and the escrow agreement? Yes. Okay, so I would like to,
What you're doing is you're doing a resolution that allows, that does these things. Allows for A, B, C, and D. You're going to designate your city manager as your individual to sign all these things. You're going to allow for the entry of the escrow agreement, and you're going to approve the grant application amount for that 200 and for the amount that Barbara has just told you.
We checked with bond counsel. When he sent the escrow agreement this afternoon, he has it for the mayor's signature. And I checked back with him because the city manager is usually our authorized representative to sign documents. But he said to go ahead and ask the mayor, have the mayor sign the escrow agreement.
I mean, that's, we've seen something like that come across the board before, right? So it's not really that uncommon. But my thing is I'm going to fall upon the wisdom of John, in regards to this escrow agreement, considering it was just put before us, is it pretty standard? I mean, what are we looking at here?
I got it at the same time.
Yeah,
you
we
got
just got it separate.
I got it. When I came in, it was handed to me by Nellie, just like it was handed to you all. I mean, I'm gonna assume if bond counsel prepared it, it's gonna be standard based upon their forms. You know, I don't see any reasons why not to go ahead and approve it, but you can approve it
Subject to final legal approval?
a review by myself and the city manager. Go ahead and do that.
I would feel more comfortable with that just because of the fact of the timing. I fall, you know, the wisdom of legal falls upon those that have legal wisdom. You know what I mean? And especially when it's such short notice for us to be able to try to review it. So I would ask that we get past this resolution with that.
So if you have a pen, let me tell you one of the ways to change it. That designating the city manager the city's authorized representative and authorizing the mayor
Mhm.
to execute all documents related to the grant agreement.
Upon final review.
Yeah, approving, and then approving the escrow agreement, approving the entry of the escrow agreement contingent upon review by the city attorney and the city manager.
We're gonna get as close as possible.
Okay, however, just so long as you kind of hit those high points.
Yeah.
Everything else they already got in there.
As stated.
In the end, though, we're paying 10% and getting a 90% grant
Yes, sir.
upon approval.
Yes, sir.
And just take that and then authorizing the mayor to execute.
Well, no, because we have the
And then
mayor.
contingent upon.
So he's gonna have to sign some too.
Well, right, designating the city manager, but authorizing the mayor to execute all documents. That's what John said.
Okay, yeah, and you know what, let's say authorizing the mayor and/or the city manager.
And/or the city manager.
There's gonna be other things that come up as
Yeah,
Barbara
I figured.
goes through the process, that you're not gonna be able to call the mayor down to do it, and as long as you've got Mike as your designated agent. I mean, we'll do what bond counsel says and have the mayor sign it, but
I mean, when everything's said and done, I think that this is something that we push through. The only question I really have is the timing of this escrow agreement being put before us. And we've seen several things like this come before us that have no issues. So that was my only
Sure.
statement in regards to this whole.
That's understandable. Understand
As
it.
far as the work and the grant itself and everything else, I don't have any other questions or comments.
I'm good.
Mr. Moody? Mr. Burke?
No, just questions.
I have one question. I just wanted to know, it says the master drainage planning study. What area or what is this for?
It's going to be field surveying for data collection and data processing, identification of existing issues and proposed solutions to those issues. And we have authorization to issue a request for qualifications for engineering services to actually do the study, but we haven't published that RFQ yet. We're working through this process.
Okay.
And then we'll be issuing the RFQ for that type of work.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So no further questions. I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I make a motion authorizing or adopting a resolution authorizing and approving a grant agreement with the Texas Water Development Board in the amount of $217,350 for TWDB project number 40005 for the master drainage planning study, an escrow agreement, other matters related thereto, and designating the mayor and/or the city manager as the city's authorized representative, and authorizing the mayor and/or the city manager to execute all documents related to the grant agreement, escrow agreement, or other matters related thereto, with the understanding that before final approval, we have legal counsel approval.
you're approving contingent upon the review of the escrow.
Contingent upon
agreement,
legal
of
review.
the City attorney and the city manager.
City attorney and city manager. Oh, I left the city manager off. Yes. Contingent upon the final review by the city manager and city attorney.
Okay. I have a second.
Second.
So, Pete, Mr. Chris?
Yes.
And Ron.
No, she was asking.
Yeah, who motion? Yeah, motion.
Okay, so we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Aye, no. Motion passes.
Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Sorry for all the.
Hey, Barbara.
Huh? Did we need something else? No?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was perfect.
Okay. Okay, we'll move on to agenda item number 8. Discuss, consider, and act upon entering into an interlocal agreement between Region 8 Education Service Center and City of Alice for the purpose of becoming a member provide cooperative purchasing services to the City of Alice through a program known as the Interlocal Purchasing System, TIPS.
Hello, Mayor and Council. This is for the Streets Department. They were looking to purchase the oiler truck that was one of the capital items that was approved. Joe found one with Cooper Equipment Company, and in order to purchase it, they requested that we become a member of the TIPS program, which is similar to Buy Board. So they get other quotes and they give us the best price that they can. And what we're bringing to you is an interlocal agreement that they require in order to be a part of this program.
Council, any questions? Mrs. Bowen? I'll start with you, Council. Mrs. Bowen.
Can you come back to me, please?
Mr. Burke?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Burke? Okay. Mr.
I thought we were not, wasn't, sorry, I'm trying to think back. We talked about tips in these chambers not too long ago too, haven't we?
I don't know. I had never heard of TIPS. I'm not sure.
I know we're on the buy board. I know there was another one that came through in regards to, there was something that we looked through in regards to truck purchases or something like that.
It wasn't tips.
It wasn't tips, okay.
We use
I know.
HGAC also.
Oh, okay. I knew there was some, because heard of tips when we go like to TML and they
See,
always.
and I'd never heard of TIPS.
See, tips, weren't we a member of tips like 10 years ago or something like that?
Not that I recall.
I know we were on like 4 of them
Yeah,
at
we've
one
had
point.
several ones.
Yeah.
This one gives us access to this particular company and outfit. But, we're going through the Educational Service Center Region 8 to be able to get to that. That's what the interlocal's
I
about.
think it's great. I just thought we were already on it, that's why I
Yeah.
asked. Okay, no. And that these are just programs that give out flat bids and allow for municipalities to not have to worry about trying to fight with people over pricing, right? Okay, I think it's great. Go for it.
Mrs. Bowen?
So we get better deals, right? No, that's it, Mayor. Thank you.
And I had to look it up because I had never heard of it, so I read up and said no fee for membership and those type of things, so. And the equipment that we are looking to purchase, what is this?
It's an oil distributor. It lays the oil before you put the blacktop or chip seal.
Okay. Would this work with our asphalt zipper too, or is that what that's for?
Yes, that works with a zipper. You use a zipper, and then once you do base,
Uh-huh,
then you put the oil, and then you put the chip seal.
very good, okay.
May I ask, what's the timeline for delivery of the truck? How long will it take to?
They have to get a truck from the dealership, and once they get the truck from the dealership, they start building the truck, and then they say by January or February, we should have the truck.
Great.
What's the life expectancy for these?
A unit like this,
Do you know?
about 15 years
Just depending on the use or whatever?
on the use, yes.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
yes,
I'm gonna have to insist that we not accept delivery of the truck until the build is complete. We've run into problems recently with things like that.
Until the build is complete?
Until the build's
Yeah,
complete,
until
it needs to be
Yeah, I know
done.
we're dealing with some issues on some other stuff, yeah. I'm okay with it. All right, thank you.
hey, council, no further questions?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve an interlocal agreement between Region 8 Education Service Center and City of Alice for the purpose of becoming a member, provide cooperative purchasing services to the City of Alice through a program known as the Interlocal Purchasing System, TIPS.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Right.
Okay, all opposed? Motion passes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 9. Discuss, consider, and act upon awarding contracts for the rental of an excavator, pad foot roller, and wheel loader for the CDBG wastewater project number 7219489 for wastewater infrastructure improvements on San Felipe, Trevino, and Escobar streets.
Mayor and council, this is the wastewater project that Mr. Zambrano referred to in his presentation in agenda item number 7. This is the joint wastewater project we have with the county. We were awarded $300,000 to do the wastewater improvements on those 3 streets. And Joe and his crew will be doing the work. Joe reached out to vendors to get written quotes to rent the equipment, and he received 3 written quotes for the excavator and wheel loader and 2 written quotes for the pad foot roller. Those quotes were reviewed by city staff in GrantWorks, who is the administrator helping us with the project. The recommendation is to award the rental contracts as follows. The excavator rental contract to Waukesha Pierce Industries for a 3-month total of $18,227.50. The pad foot roller rental contract to Holt Cat for a 3-month total of $10,543.82. And the wheel loader rental contract to Waukesha Pierce Industries, Inc. for a 3-month total of $14,200. And as part of the CDBG requirement, we bring the written quotes to City Council, even though they're below sealed bids, and a little, because it's a grant, a CDBG grant, we're bringing the written quotes to you to ask for your approval.
Hey, council, any questions, Mrs. Bowen? Thank you. Mr. Burke?
No.
Mr. Olina? Mr. Chris?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
I just wanted to ask, on this, it says 3 months, so that's what we think that project's gonna take? Is that what this is, or for the 3 months?
That's what he's estimating. He'll need the rental, the equipment for 3 months.
For 3 months.
On that particular equipment, the excavator, we don't have a large excavator, so all the deep part of the project is going to be done within 3 months. The rest of it we do with a backhoe, with small equipment.
Okay. Thank you. If no other questions from council?
I have one more question.
Sure.
You're estimating 3 months, but if there's bad weather or something, of course, we'll extend that. I mean, you'll need it for longer, right?
Hopefully we won't have no bad weather. I mean, we don't think about bad weather in construction, we just gotta get it done.
I should know better, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, good deal. Hopefully everything works out smoothly.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion on agenda item number 9.
Mayor, I make a motion to award contracts for the rental of an excavator, pad foot roller, and wheel loader for the CBDG wastewater project number 7219489 for wastewater infrastructure improvements of San Felipe, Trevino, and Escobar
Second.
streets.
Okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay. All opposed, say aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay, agenda item number 10. Discuss, consider, and act upon a resolution accepting donation of real estate from John M. Jones.
Mayor, this is and council, this is a property that has been, it's downtown. and it is right between Shabby Chic and the new hot dog place. And this property had been kind of nice, and we've been on the property owner for months to do some things to at least make it safe. And he had been doing a few things, and then as we got further down, he just wanted to get rid of the property. And of course, he said that he would deed it to us, and not that we would want a property like that, but we would take it to go ahead and have some options on what we want to do with it. But what we have before you is we'd like just to get y'all's approval to accept that property. And it is dilapidated. I don't know if it's past the point of repair, but the next agenda item where we can talk about some options on what you guys would want to see on that. It is something that we can help, clean up an eyesore downtown. But we'd like to have your all's permission to, in the form of a resolution, to accept the property.
Council, any questions? Mr. Chris?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Molina?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Burke?
No.
Mrs. Bowen?
No, thank you.
Okay. There are no further questions. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion, adopt the resolution accepting the donation for the state from John M. Jones.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all opposed, sign. Motion carried. Did you? Oh, okay.
Wait. Sorry.
Okay. Motion carries. It passes, I'm sorry. Agenda item number 11, discuss, consider, and act upon authorization to publish/issue a notice to bidders for sealed bids for a sale of city-owned property known as 304 East Main Street, Alice, Texas, or authorize renovation, repairs, or demolition, and determine use of property.
So, on this property now, we've got to decide, we need direction from you guys as to whether you guys want to sell this property, put it up for a sealed bid, or do some renovations, repair, or even demolish it and have green space, open space, or parking. We did get an estimate of demolition. Yeah, we just got an estimate of demolition today, and on the high end, I mean, it's in the $298,000 to demolish, and then another. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, you can pass it out.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant
And another 50,000 to make it a 15-space parking spot. It does have potential for a parking spot. It would be angled in parking. You'd go in and then but you'd have to leave, exit through the alley. Now the alley's a pretty tight alley, but it is the third building in. So kind of gives you an idea of, that's on the high end. It's an engineering estimate. But those are kind of the options that we have. It is quite a bit of money to do some demolition and make it a parking lot. But even, just the demolition cost alone is an estimate of $288,000. And from, I gather, in our past history, we can get it done a lot less than the 288, but that is a high end from an engineering perspective. We, initially brought it and wanted to bring it up to you guys to be able to sell it, get authorization to sell it. And if we do want to put it out for sale, we are going to put some stipulations to at least on as far as how you guys want it, either a renovation within a certain amount of time, or at minimum, it needs to be made safe and up to code to be able to be a standing building. It doesn't have to be a functional building where they can rent it out or occupy it, but it needs to be safe. And so those are the things that we would require on a sale of the property. I think there'll be interest on it. There's activity downtown, and so we just need direction from you guys as to which way you want to go.
Council, any questions? Mr. Chris?
I would have loved to have, I blame myself because I should have asked in advance, but I would have loved to have seen this number before we accepted the property.
Well, I mean, we didn't, when we were talking about the resolution on acceptance, I mean, it was, he deeding it to us, and he can deed it without.
Without us
Yeah,
accepting.
yeah, he
So
can
it's basically ours without us saying yes or no. I think we need to put it out for sale. No questions about it.
That's a lot.
We ain't got a 280 to
Plus
throw at it.
50,000
Well, I'm
for
just
the
saying, even
parking
if
lot.
we were able to, we ain't got 100 to throw at it right now.
Right.
And we have other projects in the works, hopefully to better our police and our fire department. My personal opinion, that we need to get it out there as soon as possible and let people try to take it off of our hands, so. Aside from that, that's my stance on it.
Mr. Molina?
Yeah, I was hoping we had kind of like a Rialto type demo,
It wasn't very expensive.
price tag, yeah, something like that.
You did good on that
But
one.
it's a big building. I mean, what is it, 3 stories?
Yeah.
Then there's a section that goes off it's like a mini 4th story or something. It's pretty big.
Yeah, and, I mean, you know, this estimate, of course, it's an engineering estimate, and they're gonna price it on the high end to say, you know, this is probably be the maximum exposure. And so, and I'm sure that we would get it done a lot less than what this would be, but it'd still be a significant amount of money. You know, I mean, I'd hate to guess.
I mean,
on the number,
short of finding some grant money somewhere to kind of help, kind of renovate that part there, because it's a lot to demo. I mean, if you think about it, I drove by there several times, and I was telling you how narrow that alleyway is, and but it would seem like the reasonable thing would be kind of put it out there, see if somebody's in. A lot of folks just take the front half and refurbish that and kind of take care of that and run business out of that part.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be demolished. You know, for us, if somebody wants to buy it and try to renovate it, I mean,
Sure.
there's potential there, but we're not in the business of renovating and trying to rent something out. So for us, we're gonna do something different than that. So if somebody may want to come in and say, yeah, it has potential, they're not gonna be looking at spending $280,000 to demolish. They may be looking to spend it for renovations and keeping the structure almost the way it is. So there's potential there.
Yeah, my suggestion is going to be, put it out there, see if we get anybody interested. In the meantime, you kind of do your homework, and because this was kind of a rush deal to get well, I don't want to say rush, but just to get these numbers right. We just got them, or
Yeah, we just got these numbers today also. We've been working on this property trying to get, the owner into compliance, and it was, there were some things that he was working on, and he doesn't live in the area. He used to own that building. He used to occupy that building as a White's Auto, and so it was like a Western Auto before. And he was a business owner in town, and he left in the 80s. And so he's living, almost 3 hours away now. And so it's kind of hard for him to come down and do some things. So he was willing to, get rid of it in that sense. For us now, we have some responsibility to try to get rid of it. We wanted to make sure that, that downtown area was safe. So our codes department was on him quite a bit.
right.
And now we are in this situation too. But it has potential for something. But maybe not for us as far as the money, because of what we'd have to spend. But if you guys are interested in also doing a sealed bid, I'd like to get some direction as far as time frame. How long would you want to have it out open?
What did we do on the last one? What did we do on the last one the first time? Which was our standard, because we did it twice.
I think we did 30 days on the first one. It wasn't a real long time,
For the
but
Realtor?
And then we did 60 or 90
Yeah.
the second
Yeah,
time around, right?
the second time we did longer.
Maybe we should go a little bit longer, in my opinion.
Yeah, because we did have constituents come out and say they didn't know about it or hear about it.
Yeah, they didn't know
Said it
about
was
it,
too
we didn't have
fast.
time to do it, whatever,
Right.
so give them some time.
60 days.
Mr. Burke?
Yeah, I would favor sending it out for bid for at least 60 days to 90 days. And I think it also points to the larger issue of what is going to be our response to these buildings, these eyesores, and how we're gonna handle it. Because I don't wanna see a situation where the city is always placed in a position where we're the ones that have to purchase it or take responsibility for it as far as demolition and things like that. So it's a very difficult.
Ultimately, we are the ones that are responsible for it. That, public health and safety, there's certain things in our areas. Our codes enforcement chief, Hepe, and our community development officer, our fire chief, that there's things that we do in regards to public safety, and that, building and standards, we have a board, certain complaints can be filed. Unfortunately, they haven't met in a little while, right? And that if we follow a process, we wind up to demolition anyway. And so it's one of those things where if they give us the property, then potentially if we wind up having to demolish the building immediately because of safety, then at least we have the ability to sell it. We already have title to it. We don't have to worry with the legal process in trying to foreclose on the property in those regards to enforce the lien. And so I understand what you're saying, but I would much rather have it done with people donating it to us, these dilapidated properties, if there's no way they can take care of them, so we can follow a legal process that's a lot less costly and time-consuming for the city. And so,
No, well,
so that's why.
But it gives them an easy way out where if over the years they've been more proactive.
Well, and
Yeah,
that,
you know
that
what I
might
mean.
be
You know where I'm coming from.
And that might be true, Mr. Burke, over the decades that certain properties have stood
Just
abandoned.
imagine if every property downtown, we don't have enough money to take care of all.
Like Michael said, it's very typical,
Yeah.
folks leave and they get abandoned and
Yeah.
they're mowing it and trimming and cleaning.
And when it's a health and safety emergency, we would go in anyway and make a repair. And, a lot, these are all case-by-case basis, and we make contact with property owners, and sometimes, if we've had to do something right away the same day and send them a bill. And a lot of times, we did a couple of them, they paid right away. They knew that it needed to get done, and we have, the authority to do that if it's an emergency. And so, they're all different, every property is different.
Mr. Burke, any other questions or comments?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
Mrs. Bowen?
Yes. Of course, I'm concerned about the safety, of course, and also our downtown's needs. They do need a parking area down there. It's been something I've been looking into myself, but I don't have $290,000, I'm sorry. But I would love for somebody to buy this property and consider doing something like that, so. But that's about it. I just thank you for bringing this forward.
Creative idea, but as far as that parking lot,
Yeah,
just,
that's what I think.
like I said, while this is sitting there trying to get bids, we can kind of work on some alternate ideas, maybe, maybe even get some folks to sign up and maybe want to put their name on it or something. I don't know.
Well, that's another thing. It's an option that's somebody who's interested in purchasing might want to do this, especially maybe a downtown merchant that's down there, or somebody that wants to develop more down there.
They can charge for parking. No.
But that alley is kind of narrow, but, engineers can do miracles, right?
Sure.
I feel like one of the parking spots kind of pushed back too far into the alley.
Right, there you go. I saw that. There's about 15 in this diagram here, so.
Oh. And then you're going to lose 3 right here. It's all right.
I
A lot of money.
also agree that I think we should go ahead and put this up for bids. The only thing that I would like to see is that if we do get a bid and we accept something, that we do put that time limit for them to improve that property and not be indefinite.
Right.
I think that would be, in my opinion, that would be a stipulation on pricing. If they're gonna come in super low because they're gonna spend a lot of money to get it done, so be it. But if they come in at a reasonable rate, we need to be a little bit more reasonable on the time frame that we give them. But I do think that we need to push them to do something so they don't just buy a piece of property and leave it like it is
And leave it the way it is.
for the rest of forever.
Because the issue we have is safety, to begin with.
And we did that on the Rialto both times, didn't we?
What we do is we just put right reverter in it if they fail to do certain things by a certain period of time, then it reverts back to the city.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay.
If there's no further discussion, I'll entertain a motion at this time.
Mayor, I make a motion authorizing city staff to publish a notice to bidders for sealed bids for the sale of city-owned property known as 304 East Main Street, Alice, Texas, authorizing renovation, repairs, or demolition, and determine use of property.
Second.
Do we wish to put a time or time frame?
Oh, I'm sorry, authorizing for sealed bids for 60 days?
Yeah, please.
60 days?
At least. Second.
We have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed? None opposed? Motion carries. Motion passes. Move on to agenda item number 12. Discuss, consider, and act upon repairs, renovations, and funding for Health Park. Okay. This is an agenda item that myself and Mayor Pro Tem placed on here for discussion and consideration. There are some safety issues out at the Health Park, and Michael, if you went out there and kind of saw some of those
Yes.
safety issues and
No. What you have before you, this is just something we found that was from our engineering department. I don't know if it was the parking spaces are different on there, but as far as the layout of Health Park, what's there right now, probably pretty accurate as far as where the concrete is right now and things like that. So just something so we can kind of look at as y'all move on this agenda item.
I would like to see if council would consider this, just to get this back in functioning and safe for our public and for use of that area. Mr. Chris, any questions?
You know, we've made a lot of movements on this park over the past few years. I know it started back even when our city manager, Mr. Esparza, was on council with Pete Beltran, made some moves on that park, and some of them came through early, and then our previous mayor, Vanover, made some moves on that park as well. And, you know, we've built stage there, we've done things after things. I think we've seen it not really turn out the way that we've wanted to in the past. And I feel like, yes, I think there's the safety issues we definitely need to hit now. I think if we go back to green, by that I mean pulling out a bunch of the cement that needs to come out and just kind of leveling it out and seeing how things play out. Maybe later on in the future we can find a new purpose for it, but right now a quarter of it's cut off just from the fencing around the water tower. So I don't have a problem getting rid of some of the safety issues, cleaning up the cement, doing what I think staff and feels is proper to get it back to green, and then we can find a purpose for it later on. Right now we have some great parks that we're moving on. We're doing a lot at Veterans Park. We have a ton of movement at Anderson Park. If we can focus on maybe making those better, and I think the city manager and thing has some other ideas that can improve our parks moving forward. I don't have a problem, like I said, working on this, making it better, making it safer. I just haven't seen it hugely used as much as I'd like to, and unfortunately we don't have the money to kind of sink into it to get it up to one of those parks. So you know, my recommendation is, you know, try to do a minimalist, keep it green, get rid of the problems that we have, and clean it up. So I think it does need it. I think you're right. I just don't think we need to go too far with it right now.
Mr. Woody?
Conversation I had with Michael last week or whenever this came up, I went and looked at it and I walked it over, and yeah, it's got some major issues. It's got a lot of safety issues. You know, just the footing around there, it's just hard because it's elevated, and you know, it's a grade up. You know, I never really, you know, I've been here my whole life pretty much, and for years I always thought it was just an extension of the Chambers building. You know, I don't want to spend a lot of money that we don't have trying to put money into something that's not going to get that much use out of. I seldom see people out there. I don't mean to be negative. I just, you know, you know, people drive by there all the time. On one side, it's a highway, and the other side, it's a downtown street, and then you got a building, and you got a parking lot. I mean, maybe it was more centrally located downtown. Maybe, you know, you'd see a little more activity, people going out there and sitting in the benches or whatnot. Michael and I talked a little bit, and his suggestion was a green space, just getting rid of all the concrete, and you know, just saving some money right now, and maybe just putting in some new sod, maybe some lights. I don't know about the benches, but just for now, just to kind of remove the safety liability of it. Part of the problem is that it's elevated, and there's steps that you got to climb up to get on there, and there's trees all over the place, and if anybody's had trees, they know what they do to concrete walkways. You know, eventually they just kind of find a way to lift them and shift them and whatnot. And I know there's some ideas in the works about. I know. Was it you that told me about Salazar?
Yeah, I mean, that's, I mean, the school's gonna be trying to sell that property, and there was talk about having a Southside Park there also, so.
Yeah.
That's something that was out there.
And I really like that idea, right? You know, be almost like a Southside Anderson or whatever, but.
So if, from our standpoint administratively, we need to do something to that, to make it safe. You know, the walkways that are there, they're cracked and they're angled and they're sunken, so, without this agenda item, we would be, you know, we would start doing something like removing the concrete and filling with dirt and grass and things like that. We want to do anything more, you know, the lights need to be repaired. They're there and they're falling apart. So repairing lights, getting rid of the concrete, the steps that are there to walk up, they're fine. But that once you get off the step, then it would be just the grassy area. At minimum, you know, that's something that we would get done. If you guys want to do anything other than that, and that's, you know, the agenda item works for that, if you all want to see a different direction, you know, then let us know.
Because when I think park, I think, okay, you got a pond, you got activities for kids, you have benches, you have like, I don't know, some type of attraction versus, you know, just, like I said, you're in downtown or whatever, you know, and so that's kind of what I say, like, so even about the walkways, I'm like, well, who's gonna be walking through there, you know, and then plus you got a fence biting into 1/3 of the whole place, you know, and I know there's more room eastward, but it's always been grass anyway. I kind of like Pete's idea about maybe for now, just do what we need to do minimally, cap the expenses, and just make it safe for now, you know, and then later on, you know, we kind of address, you know, how you know, there's some interest and some money. That's what I mean. So I'm talking about if there's extra money, then we can kind of talk about, you know, making that, you know, more attractive, I guess, so to speak, versus right there into the water tower.
Mr. Burke?
Yeah, I would favor just a basic maintenance, safety approach to it for the time being, and then take it from there, see what other purpose it might serve.
Mrs. Bowen?
Yeah, I would like to see the demo of the sidewalks and the concrete out there, you know, for safety issues, but, you know, install a sprinkler system, the grass, like you said, and, you know, remove that stage. It was used in the past, but it hasn't been utilized in a long time, that area. There's not a lot of traffic through there. But I would rather see more funds addressed to our own parking lot here. There are some safety issues there that we need to discuss in the future and see what we can do with our sidewalks. I mean, they are really bad, and that is used a lot. So.
How about here?
Yes.
And I think that's been addressed, but it's out. Yeah. I think that's.
Yeah, the trees are, and the trees are causing that
Right.
sidewalk to, and we have a reroute kind of plan to be able to bring the sidewalk off the street into where there is a sidewalk there already, just make it wider. Yeah.
I have a question, if I don't mind, Mayor. I know that there is a small placard there in regards to somebody made a donation, 78, a family donation. Was that the building of it, or what is currently there, or was that the property itself, or what? Because I know we had the water tower there long before that was done. You know, I don't want to really kind of push away the memory of a donation, but at a point, like you said, we're in like literally, if you walk in that general area, it's a bowl where the sidewalk is all sunken in, and it's in bad shape. So I'm just curious about that. I just don't want to do away with the thought of that. So like the steps or something and that little memorial placard to kind of continue on the concept that somebody did care about the city enough to do something back then.
Of course.
And not remove anything like that, or leave something there as a monument to what was done at the time. So I mean, if it can't be done, it can't be done. You know, I leave that up to staff to determine the best course of action to get us back to green, where later on we have better purpose for the water tower. Once we figure out what we're going to be doing there and how to improve it or fix it or do whatever we decide to do with the water tower, whenever something comes up and we can do something, maybe then we could focus on this. But right now, we're cut down just by fencing, and we need to get rid of some safety issues. There.
And I would like to see if council will consider this. I know it's a smaller park, but it's also part of the visual that people see. It's part of our beautification, our image. So I do believe by taking out the concrete and doing the green space, it's going to improve that a lot, and it's going to help maintain it a lot better. But I do still wish if we could have some of the benches, even if it's not a lot of them, maybe a couple of benches out there. And then there is it's right before the steps, where it erodes and it gets on the sidewalk. It creates a little safety issue with the mud that when it rains, I don't know if we can do some kind of I don't know how we could grade it, or a retaining or wall or something, I don't know.
I know what
you know which one.
Yeah.
But I do believe anything we do is going to improve that park.
I think we already have benches there. I mean,
Yes, we have
it's not
some.
that big of a deal to shift things
Move them around.
Right.
Let Michael and them figure out, kind of like the way we have them just maybe off the sidewalk or whatever type of placement there, so people can sit or whatever.
There were some, I think, that were removed, and I'm not sure why, but
How old are those sidewalks?
Probably 78.
I was like, probably
Probably,
pretty old.
yeah, maybe when it was dedicated or donated, because they're.
As long as you have those trees there, I mean, they're going to just continue to cause havoc there, and plus it hasn't been, kind of taken. I mean, I guess when did they put that stage in?
4 years ago.
Yeah.
And to be perfectly honest, as much as the idea behind that stage was great, I literally only saw it used 4 times.
Yeah.
Over the course of 3 years, maybe 4 times, and they were really churches that would go out there and have like a nighttime service or something like that, hot cocoa in a service. Who knows what would have happened if COVID had not hit, but even in the course of the 3 years before that, it wasn't really booming. So, that's why I'm saying let's get rid of it.
But I don't think that stage would have been put in 4 years ago if that sidewalk wasn't that kind of condition, right? So it's actually been.
That sidewalk has fallen quite a bit.
It
that
wasn't as bad, I remember,
yeah.
because I would go to those things. It wasn't.
So either-
It was not that domed.
So either way, we need to do something and level it and grade it and do something like that. I mean, and if, like I said, that's why, there's going to be a constant problem when you have something like that that's graded up like that with the steps and whatnot. Like, I mean, and if that happened in the last 4 years, can you imagine what's going to happen 4 years from now after we build everything, and unless it's just compacted really, really well.
Right.
But baby steps are the way to do
Right.
it, I think, so.
And I know it's a little early in the game, but, and you probably have had this on your plate for a while. Do we have any kind of cost estimate, or, because I don't really want to spend a lot of money on this.
I mean, we're going to do a lot of these things in-house, so, I mean, I'd like to have a budget from you guys, a maximum amount to spend out there right now. But, with hard money, not our soft money, our staff's going to go out there and start taking the inside sidewalks out. Now, those steps up, they're fine. It's just, and there is a break where they meet.
Yeah.
So those can stay, and they follow the grade of the sides. Now that the water, the dirt that comes off, there needs to be, if there's grass there, then that's gonna, water's gonna come down, but it's not gonna have the dirt coming down.
Right.
So, it needs some of that kind of work.
The grass to keep the erosion to a minimum.
So if we threw a number like $7,500,
That's what we work with.
would that be able to cover that much land? Because I know we gotta do sod too. Once we start tearing this up,
Well,
buying
and the
carpet
sprinkler
grass starts
system
spending money.
too,
Huh?
to put a sprinkler system, it doesn't have one.
Well, I thought we had something coming out of
Did it have one?
Yeah,
Is that under the chamber?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's one over there.
They can
There's
Well,
one
on the
over there with
chamber
the
side, but through the whole thing?
There's,
I don't think it goes all the way out there, no, but there's, we would extend from the one that's there at the old chamber building.
Then you said some lights,
Just
maybe
another zone.
replace the ones that are there.
I think
A
there's
few lights,
lights.
light it up.
outlets too that are broken.
I know
Okay.
we had old rope lights and stuff like that, but for the most part, I think that if we looked at something like that, and my thing is, Michael, if you don't see that this is gonna get it done or it's over, I trust that you're gonna bring it back or talk to us. So I think that's a
Little
number that I
cap
can
on
feel
it.
comfortable with for now and actually be effective, and have a goal of getting it done before next week. Just kidding.
Before Christmas? Before Christmas at least?
Yeah, you'd have
No.
to rope all that area off and keep everybody out of it.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
The lights might be expensive.
Well, I think right now, looking at lights, I think my primary goal is, what do we have out there? What can we salvage? We salvage the lighting system that's kind of there, if we can just fix it up. If we have to pull it down, I think that's the kind of stuff that Michael would really need to come back to us on. You know what I mean? If it's more capital type of purchases as opposed to just the sod and stuff like that, so. Sound good, Mike? Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Okay. No further discussion or questions? Mr. Burke?
Motion.
No, thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Moody?
I'm good.
And Mr. Smith?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Do we
So
need a
it-
motion for this, or is the discussion enough?
It says act upon.
Yeah, I think a motion would be proper.
And with the dollar amount?
If you
Well,
want to
so-
order him to do it a particular way, yes, we
With the-
can take action within $50,000 easy.
No, hold on.
Okay, but if you want to order him or what you want him
A
to do,
limit.
then yes, go ahead and make a motion.
Gonna
you
limit
know.
you.
Okay.
Mayor.
I'll entertain a motion.
Okay. Mayor, I make a motion authorizing renovations and funding of up to $7,500 for Health Park.
Second.
Okay. I have a first and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you for bringing that forward.
And agenda item number 13, conduct a public hearing to discuss, consider, and act upon adopting an ordinance to rezone Alice Farm lots, north part of Block 142-B, Farm Block 142-B, known as vacant lot, South Reynolds Street, and Alice Farm lots, south part of 142-B, Farm Block 142B, known as 1614 South Reynolds Street, from R3 Residential District to B2 Business District, as shown by and therefore recorded in maps records, volume 961, page 581, instrument 377229, Jim Wells County, Texas.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. This agenda item is a request made by the property owner to rezone this property. And it's already gone to planning and zoning, past planning and zoning, and is now in the council's agenda. So I believe you have to open up a public hearing for this one.
Okay. We'll go ahead and open our public hearing at this time in reference to this agenda item. It is 5:52 p.m. So we open our public hearing.
While we're waiting for the public hearing, to see if anybody wants to speak on it, I'll let you know that there's a copy of the map in your agenda packet. There's also a copy of the letter that was distributed to all the residents in the area. There were 44 that were mailed out, and we did not have any responses, negative or positive.
And this is going to be for a church and a daycare?
Potentially, yes. It's still kind of in very initial stages, but that's one of the things that they're proposing is possibly a church and daycare.
It's new construction, right?
New construction, right now it's just a vacant, empty lot.
Nice.
That triangle lot right there, like when you.
It's a very awkward,
The five-way.
Yes, yeah, it's a very awkward lot, so there's not
So we're
much
talking
you
about the
can
whole
do.
triangle,
Yes.
all of that
Yeah.
area.
And the property owner did meet with our engineering department to kind of go over some of the proposed
Yeah,
options that he has to be able to do something with it.
right, because there's setbacks
Definitely
and all of
unique.
that.
Yes,
So there's room for him to build,
yes.
okay.
It's 2 lots, correct?
I believe, sure.
It's part of,
Yes, 2 lots.
You can close the
I
public
don't
hearing.
see anyone coming forward, so. We'll close our public hearing. At this time, it is 5:54 PM. We close our public hearing. Okay. And council, any other questions on this agenda item? Mr. Chris?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Molina?
No?
Mr. Burke?
No.
Mrs. Bowen?
no, thank you.
Okay. There's no further discussion or questions. I'll entertain a motion at this time for this agenda item.
May I make a motion adopting ordinance to rezone Alice Farm Lots north part of Block 142-B, Farm Block 142-B, known as vacant lots South Reynolds Street, and Alice Farm Lots south part of 142-B, Farm Block 142-B, known as 1614 South Reynolds Street, from R3 Residential District to B2 Business District, as shown by and thereof recorded in Map Records, Volume 961, page 581, Instrument 377229, Jim Wells County, Texas.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion passes. We move on to agenda item number 14. Conduct a public hearing to discuss, consider, and act upon approving a final plat, 0.869 acre tract of land, more or less, in the city of Dallas, Jim Wells County, Texas, designated as Tract 3-A, and survey plat prepared by Horacio Oliveira, dated September 15, 1986, out of Block 128, Alice Farm Block subdivision, as shown by map record in Volume 1, page 63, transcribed map records, Jim Wells County, Texas, and being out of a 5.82 acre tract of land described in Volume 172, PES 326- or through 328, Jim Wells County, Texas, deed records, and located within the city limits of the city of Alice, Texas.
Mayor and Council, this agenda item is a replat of a property that is potentially going to be a muffler shop next door to a muffler shop that is no longer in business. This is the area right next to Taqueria Vallarta, and it's a property in between there and the current muffler shop. So they're proposing to build a new building there, and they needed to replat this in order to make that happen.
So at this time, I will open our public hearing. It is 5:56 PM, and anyone wishing to speak on this agenda item may step forward.
It's all on the side. Eat west of it. Okay. So is one guy gonna blow up the other guy's business? or-
Mayor, there's no particular time that you have to leave it open. Obviously, nobody's here.
There's nobody.
If you want to go ahead and close the public meeting, you may.
All right.
She likes the silence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do I.
Sing happy birthday.
I want to give it at least a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Hear somebody stumbling up the stairs.
Okay, seeing no one wanting
Wait.
to step forward to speak on this agenda item, we will close our public hearing. It is 5:57 PM. Patrick, Mr. Thomas. Any discussion, council questions or anything? Mr. Chris?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Molina?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Burke?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Mrs. Bowen?
No, thank you.
Okay. No further discussion or questions. I will entertain a motion on this agenda item.
Mayor, I make a motion to approving a final plat, 0.869 acre tract of land, more or less, in the city of Alice, Jim Wells County, Texas, designated as Tract 3A and survey plat prepared by Horacio Olivera, dated September 15th, 1986, out of Block 128, Alice Farm Block subdivision, as shown by map record in Volume 1, page 63, transcribed map records, Jim Wells County, Texas, and being out of a 5.82 acre tract of land described in Volume 172, PES 326-328, oh, those are pages.
And then
Jim Wells
yours.
County, Texas records, and located within the city limits of the city of Alice, Texas.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 15. Discuss, consider, and act upon approving the revised application for appointment to a City of Alice Citizens Board, Commission, and Committee, and requiring all pending applicants to complete a new application if interested. Mr. Esparza?
On, you're saying number 15?
Yes, sir.
This was
The application.
the application,
He made corrections to it, and I added the open record policy, the code of ethics, and the conflict disclosure, so that y'all can have the full application, and once y'all start using it going forward.
Yeah, I had actually questioned initially why this was on here, because I had falsely remembered that we approved this application in the last meeting, but we didn't. What we had done, and Odie caught it and put it on the agenda so that we could handle it properly, was we had approved the requirement
Right.
of an application, and then Odie went through actually and made any changes necessary and had staff, to the legal disclaimers on the bottom. And then, if I'm not mistaken, you had staff did some updating to
On
the
the
brief
actual
descriptions.
description.
So, yeah, so this is basically what you had created with Michael, and then I slightly adapted with a little bit of the extensions, and then she took it and ran with it and added the better descriptions, the open records policy, because they're required in the same way we are, and everything attached to it. So, yeah, this eventually just became her baby, and I'm very appreciative for you taking off with that once we got to it. So,
Thank
yeah, no, thank her.
Odie.
I did my part before. She did everything else after that.
Thank you. Mr. Molina?
I have no questions.
No.
Mr. Mrs. Bowen?
No, thank you. Thank you, Odie.
Yes.
Yes, so we can move forward now.
Yes.
Well, we have to,
So I guess the
Entertain
statement
a
would be,
motion.
the statement would be now is, if this approves, anybody interested in being on the boards that have turned in your applications previously,
Yes.
please come get one of these. If you know somebody who had applied before,
Yes.
and I'm talking to council and staff,
Reach out.
shoot.
okay, so,
And it actually says here, pending applicants to complete a new application.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I didn't see anywhere where we're gonna have a sales.
Showing you up.
A sales pitch?
Showing you up over there.
Apply.
There you go. Say that.
He snuck it in.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve the application as presented.
Second.
so we have
We all second.
a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all opposing sign. Motion carries.
Good, moving forward.
Okay.
Great.
Yes.
Yes.
Love it.
Stepping forward, stepping forward.
Agenda item number 16. Yes, thank you, Odie. Yes. The city council may enter into closed or executive session to discuss the following pursuant to Texas Government Code, Section 551.071, consultation with attorney to secure legal advice and counsel related, but not limited to Texas Government Code, Section 551.072, deliberations regarding real property. All right, we will go to executive session. It is 6:03 PM.
Perfect. Good.
Agenda item number 17, return to open session and take action necessary as a result of the discussion and proceedings. Agenda item number 16, pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071, consultation with attorney to secure legal advice and counsel related but not limited to Texas Government Code Section 551.072, deliberations regarding real property. It is 6:22. Yeah.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion allowing the city manager to negotiate and enter into a lease with Spencer H. Callahan or related business entity concerning the Site 9 hangar at the Alice Municipal Airport.
Second.
So we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 18. Here's status report on August 2021 month-end financial statements and summary of funds and delivery of August 2021 check registers.
Good evening.
Good
I'm gonna
evening.
move the mic this time. I'm a little loud. Yes, sir. Financials for the 11th month ending August 31st, 2021. General funds revenues are $10,666,186, or just under 89%, slightly under target. Property tax budget was $2,730,750, and year-to-date we have received $2,915,286. Exhibit B, we have our M&O and INS 2021. We have $3,911,383. Last year we had $3,930,523, so we're roughly 19,000 below that mark. Going back to Exhibit A, sales tax was budgeted at $4,975,850, and at this time we're showing $4,151,350 year-to-date through June. Exhibit C, sales tax budget versus actual. This includes the month of July. July's collection was $450,429, which is right at target. 2021 budget was $4,500,000, and we have an actual of $4,601,780. So we're roughly $101,780 over budget. Exhibit D, we have actual 2021 versus actual 2020, and we show an increase of $72,423 over previous year-to-date. Returning to Exhibit 8, occupational and mixed beverage is at 112%. Franchise license and permits is at 80%. Intergovernment is at 100%. Fines and forfeits is at 95.25%. Miscellaneous revenue is 99.86%. And interfund transfers is at 91.67%. Exhibit E, general fund expenditures. Year-to-date, we have $10,915,239. Some of our larger departments show the following. Our general service is at 101.63%. Fire department is at just under 91%. Police department is at 93%. Street maintenance is at 85%. Parks and playground is at 93%. And public health is right under 93%. Exhibit F, revenues versus expenditures for all funds. General fund, we show a negative $249,052. Solid waste, we show $59,984. The utility fund is coming in at $683,311. The airport fund is showing a negative $23,192, and that's with the transfer. The golf course fund is at $16,236 with the transfer. Hotel occupancy is at $97,506. And the multi-use complex is at a negative $49,137, and that's also with the transfer. The final slide is the revenue over expenditures comparing 2020 to 2021. Our general fund was at a negative 703,080 last year, and this year we're showing a negative 249,052. Solid waste was at a negative 153,791, and now we're at 59,984. Utility fund was at 218,696, and now we're at 683,311. Airport fund was at a negative 22,055, and now we're at a negative 23,192. The golf course fund was at a negative 2,628, and now we're coming in at 16,236. Hotel occupancy was 82,174, and now we're at 97,506. And lastly, the multi-use was coming in at negative 25,523, and we're showing negative 49,137. And that's what we have for financials. If there's any questions.
Council, do we have any questions? Mr. Chris?
One thing I'd just be grateful if you could put together on these graphs real quick is I'd like to see one of these Exhibit Ds, am I on the right one, sales tax collections, that maybe included 19 as well when we weren't in a pandemic, just so that, you know, for my reference when I look at things, so maybe you can get that together for me and shoot it over, please. So it's 19, 20, and 21, so that we can see where we're at. I know we were a little bit higher on our monthlies in 19, so kind of give me an idea of that. The next question is, in regards to, you know, some of the overages we had, general service and the police department, would it be feasible to relate those to maybe the freeze? And when we had people working, you know, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because it's not a huge overage, and I know that our staff has done a really good job of getting ourselves over that overtime, getting everything back to budget. So is there something there that maybe might be reimbursed later on through these different processes or grants that we've applied for?
On the general service or the general fund?
Or the general service, like on the expenditures, we're slightly over on general service, we're slightly over like on the police department, and I'm just wondering, you know, because the chief and everybody have been doing a really good job of managing staff, and now we see this. I mean, these have been carrying for a while, but now we're seeing it, so.
Now that it's towards the end.
I think on the general service fund, there's just some expenses that came up that maybe we weren't expecting kind of last minute. I don't think they're related to the fees, because we did move those to a different.
Okay, we did move those back then? Okay. All right. Okay, thank you. That's it for me, thank you.
Mr. Molina?
No, I'm good. Thank you, Gabriel. Appreciate it.
Mr. Burke?
No, it's done.
Mrs. Bowen?
What is our hotel motel revenue? How much do we have in there?
The hotel motel was a 97.
Was it the 97?
This one.
97,506.
97,506?
Right.
Oh, I
You
missed
asking
it.
for the fund balance?
Or the
or-
for
Well,
fund
no, I
balance
want
or
the
for
fund
what?
balance, yeah. Sorry. I was looking at, no, that's not what I want. The fund balance. The fund balance.
$3.4?
3.35308.
Okay. Thank you.
There's page 125.
That's fine. I found it. Thank you.
Any other questions? Ms. Bowen?
No, not right now. Thank you. Thank you, though.
I had a few, I just wanted to, and I think
Okay.
on the general fund revenues, Exhibit A, it shows that we had year-to-date 414 versus the budgeted amount. What was that?
On which one, I'm sorry? On the general fund? Exhibit
Charges
A?
for services, Exhibit
Charges,
A.
that's the amount for the liens.
The what?
When we did all those liens from 2016 and now they're showing up.
Oh, okay, that's what's showing up. Okay. And then,
Can you leave those out?
and on the Exhibit F, Hotel Occupancy Tax Fund, what are the expenses that we expense there?
Those have mostly been like the improvements to the ball fields and
material supplies and
Yeah,
the
it's-
property.
There's been some advertisement as well, about 12,000 for the year.
Oh,
Wow.
And the rest has been really just the ball fields.
okay.
I did have a lot of money. Go ahead.
And on the multi-use, it's probably the payment that we do. We have that.
Insurance.
Okay. On Exhibit G, also I wanted to ask on the utility fund, it was at 218. And on 21, we did the 683. Was that due to the meters and stuff that we?
As of late, because those meters kicked in about July roughly. So as of late, yes, we've noticed an increase.
Okay.
It made a difference.
And I know we talked about it a little bit. On solid waste, we're still showing a negative of 3,454,379. Is that because of that cell or?
The auditor said that has to do with
It's the same thing.
Like the post-closure. But he said, the cash balance is there, it's just because you have to book these liabilities towards the fund balance.
I'm still trying to understand that one.
That's how he wanted us to do it this year. We've had other auditors do it differently, it's just kind of, I guess, his opinion on how to do it.
Okay, because I remember seeing like that 7 million, and then that's when I saw it
Right.
shift, and then I know we still have the 2.5
Yeah, it's not like
million
it
in
was,
another.
it's just moved to a different, right,
Okay.
showing up differently.
Still trying to grasp that, so, okay. I think that's all I had on those questions. I know on the check register, we had a big one for the Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts.
Like a 1 million something?
It's 196,000,
Yeah.
it's the sales tax. We're
Sales
paying it.
tax.
Oh, and we're paying
Those
that on
audits
the,
are-
oh, okay,
194.
gotcha.
Way off.
That's it. Thank you so
Slacking.
much.
Thank you, guys.
And we'll move on to agenda item 19,
Sandra, for your part.
adjourn and or consider an act upon adjournment.
May I make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Here we have a first and a second. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, carries, meeting adjourned, 6:35 PM. Thank you so much, everyone.